That's great. Okay, wow.
Sweet.
So we start with the session officially. So hi everyone, it's been so great to have all of you here to learn something new with such an amazing person, Kirtideva Peruman. So he's a counselor by profession who currently works at Family Works South Canterbury, which is located at New Zealand, and to provide high quality professional counseling and related services to individual, adults, couples, adolescents, families, groups, and our children. And also, he had been a rehabilitation coach at the Supported Lifestyle Harauki Trust, and where he's been supporting and assisting the persons in their basic needs and care. And also, he has supported three persons with different disabilities and got some achievement there. And other than that, he holds a degree in counseling and PG diploma in community and is a certified life coach. He has also been a volunteer at Middlesex University, and other than that, he's a very amazing person with such an skills of public speaking and listening to people, which is really rare. And yeah, over to you, Kirtideva. I hope I didn't eat your head much.
Oh, thank you so much for that intro, but I think you said everything that I was going to say. So I don't have much to introduce myself. So basically, hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming on. So short notice for me. I had to prepare something, but I originally prepared on burnout because I feel that's something that you should know about. But since they asked me to do something else, I will try to maintain that as well. Um, so basically, like Ridi said, I'm originally from Mauritius. So I did all my studies in Mauritius, my degree and my master's. So a brief intro, like during my studies, I studied engineering, and then Middlesex University opened in Mauritius, and I hated engineering because I'm not good to speak to or listen to machines. So I started to listen to others. So Middlesex University came to Mauritius, and my dad actually applied for me. So I didn't do anything. I didn't know if I was going for psychology either. So I just went to the class, fell in love with it. And since then, my journey began in personal development and personal growth. And like I think everyone has a reason why they started psychology, every single one of you. So you must know why you started it, because if not, it's going to stop. Like people will tell you, oh, why are you doing psychology, man? Like, can you mind read? Are you a mind reader? I get so much comment on that. Are you a mind reader? Are you reading my mind? If you go to a party, oh, I don't want to talk to you because, oh, you're going to read my mind, right? You're going to know what I'm thinking right now. So you have to explain what psychology is about, and people still won't get it, but that's fine. It doesn't matter if they don't get it. It's about what you believe in and what you first started. What's your reason? What's your why you're doing it? Because at one point in time, like I said, like people will stop you, like will try to stop you and tell you, oh, don't do that, don't go there, there is no pathway, there is no prospect. Actually there is. Just remember in those times, like we are in COVID, like New Zealand just went into lockdown right now. they, they said they just went into lockdown 3 days ago, so we're on level 4. So mental health is going to hit high right now, and we all know that because people are going to stay at home. And what happened? We noticed last year when lockdown, when COVID started, what happened? People can't stay with themselves. They can't listen to the noise, the chatterbox inside their head, right? They say, oh, it's too noisy outside, but actually they can't stay with themselves. So that's why we are here as well. We give space to people. We just open, we just give them space, make them feel good, make them feel comfortable. That's what I want to tell you guys as well. This is a safe space for you. This is just a space for you to feel comfortable. Any issue that you go through, it's just a two-way conversation. It's not only me who is going to do the talk. Like I said, I don't want it to be a one-way conversation. It's not a lecture. I'm not expert in that field. Good evening to everyone as well. So what I want to say as well is really asked me and Gaugi as well. Thank you for you guys inviting me, because you guys asked me to speak about like when you finish your degree, what's going to happen. So what's next, right? Do you guys have any ideas? Anyone? After you finish your degree, so you're in third year, I presume, what's going to happen to you?
We'll hunt for master's colleges, I think.
Yeah, so most likely you will go for a master's, or most likely you will take a break and have a thought about it in which field you will enter, right? Because you have learned in different branches of psychology. There are so many branches out there. So most probably you're thinking, oh, what I'm going to do right now? Where should I go? Which field should I go? Because there are so many. So I want you guys like give a thought right now. Like just take a moment, take a deep breath. Like where do you feel comfortable? Where do you feel that, yes, I'm going to be in service to others? How can I serve others? Just ask that yourself. In which field? It can be social, it can be positive psych, it can be behavioral, it can be clinical, any branches of psychology, it doesn't matter. I got the counseling one because that was the only master's available at that time in Mauritius. I didn't consider to study abroad back then. But you guys, you have this opportunity now to go abroad to study online, because with COVID, it allows you, it opens you door to online learning. So just ask yourself now and just do a boom in the chat and tell me which branch you want to go. Please don't be shy. Applied psych. Yep. That's nice. Cool. Thank you so much for those who are responding. That's really nice. Nice. Wow, there's so many out there. That's so lovely to see. Oh, forensic is so interesting. Neuropsychology as well is amazing. It's amazing, right? So, see, you all have different branches that you want to go. Even one person said like he or she, sorry, doesn't know what she wants to do and need to research. That's brilliant, because that's the time where you can to think. Like at the start of your third year, sorry, that's when you start to think, where can I go? And that's okay if you don't know. You don't need to compare your journey to anyone else. It's your journey. So don't be like, oh, I don't know where to go. Research, read about it. That's what I did as well. I read about it. Before going for the counseling masters, I read about it. And that's what you need to do. And you need to ask yourself, like, why should you go, for example, for clinical side? Why should you go for neuropsychology? What attracts you there? What's more important for you there that, oh, yes, I want to do that. No matter how many challenges you're going to face, I'm going to do that. Like, what is the one thing? Just ask that yourself. Can you please share as well in the chat, what is the one thing, for example, attract you to, for example, cyber psychology or clinical psych or neuropsych? Please go for it in the chat. If you want, you can speak as well. That will be good to hear your voice as well. The admin, is it okay right now?
It's perfectly
It's
okay.
okay. It's okay, boss.
Yeah. Okay. There is someone in the chat.
Sorry. Cool. That's cool. Someone want to speak, or? Is there anyone who want to share their experience?
Can you repeat your question?
So I would like to know, like, why are you going for the different branch that you said? Like, why are you, for example, going for neuropsychology or clinical psychology? Is that clear? That's brilliant. Yeah. That's so good that a couple of people know why they are doing it, because that will give you the purpose of going forward or moving forward. That's really good. So now that you know, for example, if you already know why you're doing it, now you can research across the world. So what I would have done in your place, like I would, cool. So I would like research on, for example, if you are interested in trauma, for example, I would have researched all the best, like I would Google right now, like what's the best trauma training in the world? Like what's the best trauma masters in the world? So you have to research what's the best, for example, neuropsych or cyber psych facilities or masters is best for you. That will help you out. You start by researching and knowing why you're going there. And then when you decided which country you want to go, for example, if you had a dream country where you want to go, then then you have to meet with, and for example, for me, before coming to New Zealand, because I studied a postgrad in community psychology, so I went for an agent who helped me with my other stuff like visa, passport, medical stuff, insurance. You have to consider all that as well. But you have an agent who does all of that, because your focus should be on why I'm going to do that study. What's exciting about the study, right? Are you still with me, guys? Or is it too fast or is it too slow? Sweet. Cool. So the next step that I did as well is like once I got an agent like who helped me out, who is specialized, you must look someone who is accredited. Like if you got some agent who is accredited with the university. For example, I had one in Mauritius who was accredited with the University of Waikato in New Zealand, which means that they work in partners. So I know it was safe. I know it's something genuine. So you don't go to any agent. You see their background as well first. You ask around. If anyone, you go on Google, look for reviews if they got good reviews. That's what I did. So I went to this agent and he helped me throughout. And all the process went out smoothly. I didn't have any issue. So you have to look for that agent who take care of everything like the medical, the travel, you don't have to worry about it at all. You don't stress about it. And then what I did as well is research on the country. So research, for example, if you're going to UK or Canada, for example, cyber psychology, if you're going for UK, you study on the where you're going. If you're going for London, for example, I would have researched like what kind of culture is it over there? What do they like? What they don't like? How to speak to people, maybe basic conversation. Like since you guys speak English, it's amazing. Like you can use it anytime, anywhere, right? But if you're going, for example, for Spain, it might be wise like to consider learn Spanish, for example. Like the basic conversation. I'm not saying go for a Spanish course. No, I'm saying just have the basic conversation. Just for that, you know the culture. It's really important to know the culture. Because for me, when I came to New Zealand, it was a cultural shock. Because like you will see people in New Zealand walking barefooted in supermarket, and it's normal. And it's normal. It's not homeless people. They are not homeless people walking in the supermarket barefooted, because this is so normal here. It's in their culture. Saying hi to everyone is in their culture. If they don't say hi, that's fine. as well. Because in my country, like coming from Mauritius, if I imagine myself walking in the supermarket barefooted, no, I will be kicked out, right? I guess in India as well, it's the same. You will be considered like, imagine yourself wearing sandals or going in the supermarket. I did that. I wear PJs to buy some groceries in the supermarket, and no one will judge you. Like, no one cares about what you wear here. But that's the culture here. So you have to understand the culture as well. It's really important to get that in your mind if you want to study abroad. Sorry. Do you have any question till now, or is it okay? So also, what I did as well is considering the money. Like, how do you the conversion as well? It's important to have you always have a backup money like before you got in, because when I came here, I did study, but I also worked part time, because here you go on student visa, so anywhere you will go, I don't know with the COVID situation if you will be able to travel. I hope so, because this will give you another perspective of psychology. When you go abroad, you meet other people, they have a different concept of psychology from where you come from, because that's the way they were brought up, and we were brought up from a different culture. And that can be a cultural shock when you hear them speak. You will be like, oh, no, no, I'm not doing that in my family. I can't do that. I can't speak to my dad like this. I can't speak to my mom like this. Or I can't speak to people like that. But that's okay with them. So you have to understand their culture as well and be open to it. I would say that one of the major things if you're going abroad to study is be open. Don't be like, oh no, I'm not going to do this. I don't know if I can do this. Be open to any experience, but also know your boundaries. If you're not willing to do something, let's say they are having crazy parties and you don't want to go, you can say no. Learn to say no as well. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. Know your boundaries. Be aware of that. That's very important if you're going abroad, to learn about that. And also, what I learned studying and working at the same time teaches you how to work balance. Like, you have to have it. If you, let's say, imagine yourself like you're going to study in the morning, in the afternoon, you're going to work. So back then, I was working as a support worker. So a support worker is like a carer. So I was taking care of someone who has a physical need, physical disability. So he had a brain injury, and he was like twice my size. So imagine you have to take care of someone, taking him to the gym, to the for his shower, feeding him, all that I had to do as a support worker while studying. So that takes a toll on your mental stuff as well. So you have to be aware how where to balance. When you're studying, it's your study time. So what I did, I created a plan. So, for example, on Monday, that's the day I work, no matter what. That's my work day. And then the Tuesday, it's my study day. So I just study. Wednesday, it's my work day, and so on. So I used to create a plan where I decided to work, but I don't mix both, because this will help you with your physical health and your mental health. It's really important if you're studying psychology to take care of your mental health, because if you don't have any self-care, no, that's not going to work. So if you guys have any tips for your healthcare, like, can you tell me what you do currently about your self-care? If you know what self-care is, though. First, tell me what self-care. Hello.
I just can I speak?
Yes, sorry.
Um, for me, self-care is caring yourself, your body, as well as your mind, listening to yourself. Treat as you treat people. I think self-care is that. Do what you want to do. Don't suppress your feelings and your likings just because you have to do other work. I guess that is self-care.
That's good. Anyone else? Come on, don't be shy. You're psych students. Yep, that's good. Anyone else? If you don't want to speak, you can send it in the chat as well. That's fine.
Actually, self-care is something which something which we do for ourselves to take care of ourselves, whether it is our social interactions, whether it is our physiological needs, whether it is our internal needs, whether it's meditation, everything comes under that.
That's excellent. I think everyone is right. Like everyone, what you shared is your self-care. For me, the self-care is about, it's related to what you said. Like it's start with you, I would say. Like the name itself says self-care. And it's important to like to recognize it's not being selfish, because as psych student, we were always taught to take care of the other. Like we have to be in service to others. Like we are taught in that sense, and that's fine. But we have to remember we have to be in service to ourselves first before we can serve others. If you can't take care of yourself, forget about taking care of others, because that's the most important thing first, taking care of you. And it can be really simple. It can be so simple. It can be having just a morning coffee, like, or chai, right? Just having your chai in the morning. Just breathe, like breathe. That's enough. Like that's self-care. Putting on the music and dancing to it where no one can see, that's fine as well. It doesn't matter. No one cares about that. But all it matters is you. If that makes you feel happy and really good about yourself and it re-energizes yourself, you do it. That's your self-care. So many people believe that self-care is selfish. That's so wrong. Selfish is like you're focusing just on you and you and you. But self-care is like you're focusing on you first, and then you're taking being in service to others. Because if you can't, like, being a counselor, being a psychologist, you can't like suggest to people, oh yeah, I would like to suggest if you can do some meditation 20 minutes. But if the person asks you like, are you doing it, and you say no, and they will know it, people know it from your energy. If you get into the in your counseling session or in your psych session and you're not feeling good, people know it, whether they can read energy or not. Because imagine if you go to your psych session and you're like, oh, I'm not feeling it today, man. And I'm very honest with that. If I'm not feeling something today, like in my psych session, I just tell the client, look, today I'm not feeling too good today. Could we reduce the session to 30 minutes? Is that fine with you? And most of the time, 100%, they will say yes, they do understand. And that's okay, because that's, you're taking care of yourself first and then of the other person. Because if you don't do that, if you're just saying, oh no, I'm going to push it, that's what I did. That's why I got burnt out in my first year. During my master's, I was doing 2 jobs and I got burnt out within 3 months, because I used to see 7 to 8 kids per day. And I was like, no, no, because I'm studying psych, I counseling, so I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm applying all my theories, all my techniques. But guess what? You just get burnt, because I was not taking care of myself. So that's why I said, no, self-care first. So can you tell me now, what kind of self-care routine do you guys have?
Reading a book, I think so. Reading a book, doing meditation sometimes, and dancing. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So I dance, that's it.
Anyone else? Oh, eating. I love that. Foodie. Like, you mean social media breaks and staying for 1 hour, you mean? Or it depends on what kind of food, I would say. Yeah, I bet. Hangouts. Nice. By hangouts, you mean drinking?
Not bad.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's cool. That's very insightful from Uma. That's very insightful. So that's really good that you guys have so much uh, like, yeah, I love the social media, the hangouts, the talking to a friend, observing myself. That's so brilliant that you all have those kind of self-care, because it's important to be aware when you are abroad as well, anywhere in the world where you are, anytime you're studying. Please spend 5 minutes with yourself. Either it's morning or in at sleep, before you sleep, do that. That's major. Because also you have to be aware when you're going abroad to study, you're being away from your family. And we come from a culture where family is major. Like it's stick to us. I'm not being rude to that. I'm just saying, like, family will always stay with us no matter what. And I'm the first to say family first, right? No matter what happened in your life, no matter where you are in the world, your family come first. So you come first. Sorry, you come first, and then your family, because you have to take care of yourself as well. But family also matters. Just be present for them. Create a time. Like, for me, I have a time that I spend with my family. It can be through WhatsApp, or it can be through Skype, that I'm always chatting. It's important to maintain those connections when you are abroad. When you're studying abroad, it's important to have those connections, because at one point in time you will miss India from where you are, obviously. For me, I miss Mauritius because I miss the Mauritian beach, the Mauritian sun. It's not the same, even if we have only one sun. It's not the same. You will, it really messes you up sometimes, because you will feel like, oh, I just want to go back. At one point in time, everyone who stayed abroad, they feel that, oh, I just want to go back. So it's important to be aware of those as well. So do you guys have any question for me that you want me to clarify or talk more about? Do you guys have any question? Are you sleeping, or because here it's late, so I should be sleeping, not you? What's
Actually, I have a question.
Yes.
Um, I really want to ask that if we have Indian degrees, are we still eligible to go abroad or to research or read further or study?
Oh yes. So for sure, what you can do, what I recommend now, because now I've been here, I understand that is like, you can make your, so for New Zealand, for example, they have a organization called New Zealand Qualification Assessment. So for short, it's NZQA, which means that they assess any degree that you have, and they maintain it. They say what standard it is in New Zealand. For example, my master's was recognized as a level 9. So it's here they have different level of study. So for example, if you're doing a bachelor, if you're doing a bachelor, it's about level 8. So I will try to answer one question by one. There's been a list of questions coming in now, which is interesting. So, uh, Harshdeep, can you tell me what do you mean by what's more in demand? Like, you mean in terms of counseling or psychology or any?
What's more in demand in New Zealand? Maybe counseling or organizational or any other
Oh,
field.
so I'm not a really expert in that, but I know that every like if you have a psych degree or even a counseling degree, they will grab you because people need mental health is well recognized here compared to our country. Like uh, like my country, I can speak for Mauritius, for example. They take care of people who are into mental health, and honestly, people here to go into mental health is like you must have this gut to do it in the sense that you must have this patience, you must have whatever you studied, right? Like empathy, like unconditional positive regard, you must have it. So I would say like counseling or psychology, any will grab you. Organizational as well is quite interesting in the sense that they have a lot of companies who are really open to have psychologists in their organization, and we even have a like a NGO or an organization that take care that employs counselor. Because right now, for example, this company is recruiting massively, and they are looking for 33 counselors across New Zealand. So that's how in demand it is. Like they are looking for people, and counseling is something that they will constantly look for.
Yes,
So,
sir.
oh, no need to call me sir. That's fine. Deva is fine. And any studies you can recommend uh, for doctoral? So for PhD, for example, if you're considering PhD, I would say in like New Zealand, in the sense that the fee that it's the only country in the world uh, that allows you to pay the same amount as local fee for your PhD, only for your PhD. So you don't pay international fees for your PhD in New Zealand. This is I think that's the only country in the world that allows that. In any other country, if you look for doctoral study, you will have to pay the international fee, and you will have to meet the like supervisor. If you know anyone in any other country, that will be good for you to create a relationship with your supervisor and then start applying for your masters. Sorry, for your PhD. Any suggestion? Masters in in psychology. I would say like you got Canada, Australia. I would suggest like UK as well. Even New Zealand is quite good. For me, I did a postgrad in community psych. So coming to your question, community psych is kind of similar like social psychology. It's kind of an equivalent, but here it's more looking at psychology on a broader perspective from the social perspective. And it here in New Zealand they have another culture called the Maori. Uh, so Maori is like indigenous to New Zealand. So if you watch rugby games, I don't know if you will ever watch, but there is the All Black team. So you will see that they do the haka or something like that, and so you will see them uh, practicing the haka because it has a meaning for them. So I would say like if you're looking at community psychology, is like looking from a more social perspective, I would say. Um, so I don't know what's IGNU graduate. So if anyone can clarify that. And racism in New Zealand. So every country that you okay, so any country that you go, you will face some sort of racism. I'm not saying that New Zealand is uh, is the best without any racism. There is no racism. That's untrue. But there's lots of Indian here, so you won't feel lost at all because Like for example, in the area I am in, there's a lot of people from Kerala. So from South India, you will get a large South Indian community here where I am. But across New Zealand, you will have a lot of Indians. So you will never feel uh, lost, I would say. So do we need to meet the criteria? I don't. I don't know if. So I don't have. Sorry, I don't have any information concerning U.S. and Canadian universities. It's best that you go on their website and just contact their student advisor. You will have someone to contact and just email them because they are like very friendly people. Like they will return back to your email quite quickly. That's what happened to me as well in New Zealand. Like their response rate is really good. Like they will respond quite quickly to you. You know, they won't like leave you alone. And concerning the particular requirements, I don't know what you mean. Like if you can elaborate on that.
So maybe like I'll score or something else like that.
Oh
Is it
yes.
necessary?
So normally for us, we have to do IELTS. So you will do the academic IELTS. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a 7.5 overall or 7 or 6.5. I'm not sure about the overall band score.
Okay. So like I am in my masters. For me, any particular marks levels like maybe there's some requirement for their universities or something in New Zealand. If you can give any idea about that.
Uh, you already have your master. That's what you said,
No,
right?
I'm doing my masters. I'm a second year.
Okay. So I don't know about the requirements. Like, if you're considering, like, I would say, like, go through NZQA if you're considering to come here first. Once you're done with your masters, just go through NZQA. You can apply it anywhere in the world. So even if you're still in India, you can just send them your documents and they will process it. There's a fee for that. I'm not saying it's free, so there is a fee for that. So you will get yours assessed, and you're most likely to get a job if you have this NZQA because it's already approved. So any job will see, oh yes, she got the standard. And I would say like go through the universities in New Zealand or anywhere in the world, even Canada or UK as well. And concerning the master's question, so normally to do a PhD in anywhere in the world, you need a master's. And except like if you have a really good bachelor and you have a really good topic, you can start with a master's, but you can transfer it to a PhD. Like you can extend it to a PhD, but you must have a really good research question. Like it's really valid for them to transfer it, and it must be agreeable to your supervisor as well. So your supervisor must tell you if it's okay for you to extend it to a PhD. So you can start with a master's if you want to, and then extend it to a PhD. Yes, anyone else? About the IGNU one, I'm not sure about the open universities because if it recognized, I would like suggest again, please contact the US or Canadian universities. They would be able more to help you. But I think if even you contact the Canadian like qualification assessment or something like that, they might help you as well, give you more feedback about that. It's just a branch of psychology, I would say, like community psych. It's just a branch of psychology. Sorry, I don't have much about IGNU. Sorry about that. Anyone else? Like, do you have any other question that you would like me to try to answer?
Okay, so I have a question for you. All
Oh, the
right.
best for the loss. Okay.
Okay, so I know you have already briefed about like your experience and when you were doing your psychology and like you came from the engineering field to psychology. But I
Yeah.
really want to know that experience. When like was it an interview based? Like when you entered the university, was it an interview based something like that? When you like took admission into the psychology field, was it interview based and what things you faced as a student? Okay, this was something I learned new and this was a practical exposure here. Or this was the theoretical part I really didn't like to do in university. So your
You
personal
mean
experience.
you mean like in New Zealand or when I was in
Yeah.
Mauritius? In
No,
New
no, no.
Zealand.
Yeah.
So New Zealand, I didn't have an interview. Like I had a call, like from the how you say that? Like from the program coordinator. It's like a program coordinator. So they will have a chat with you and ask you about your experience. And for me, what I learned mostly is like uh, since I came from Mauritius, I have this like kind South Indian culture as well mixed. So my way of viewing psychology is way different from them because I went because they are more open in the sense like the students were had different views, different perspective of how they approach research as well. So for me, the research part was the most beneficial part. Like they were really helpful in helping me to see different perspective of, let's say you have a like an issue with a client. It's about how you see the different level around the client. It's not only one side, it's not only one theory that you will learn. So I feel that when you have discussion and when you have role play which with the other members, when you go out with them, it can be informal meeting. Like here in New Zealand, they have this culture of having coffee. So coffee is a major thing, just like you can have chai, like for example on the street, for example, right? Here it's coffee shop. So they will say, let's grab a coffee, right? So that's where you learn the most actually. That's where you learn most about them, and also like you become more friendly, they become more open, because since they don't know you at first, it might be creating a barrier. And we will have a tendency as well to think, oh, they might know better than us. No, it's not true. So it's about remembering as well that they don't know better than us. It's like we're on the same level right now because we studied psychology or we studied counseling, whatever it is. So it's about remembering from that, even if you're going abroad, it's not that they know better than you. So that's the challenge. That's kind of a block that I had when I went into when I went in New Zealand, because I thought like the New Zealanders, they knew better than me in the sense of psychology. Oh, it's a new country, or it's the the exposure is greater compared to Mauritius. But no, it's not true. You actually know the same level. It's the same level, but it's about how you become open to them. So you listen to what they say, and ask question. I would say like ask question. Always ask question. When you don't understand something to them, they are really open to share. Like if you don't understand, don't think, oh, I'm being stupid, I don't know. No, just ask them. Like they will tell you. They don't find any question is no stupid. Like it's not stupid. Just ask them. It's really helpful when you ask question when you don't understand. So I would say like, did I answer your question, or is it you want more about it? You
I
want to
have
know?
something to add.
Okay,
Okay, so
just
I was
one.
like asking very personal experience, like how was like do you have even as an assignment parts and all that stuff like we have here, and like what your assignments look like? So I want like I would dig more into the student circle, when you were a student.
Okay,
Because I am too
so
interested in counseling field, so yeah, I would really dig up there.
okay, so you want to know about the student side? What do you mean, like in terms of assignment or?
How does the like the knowledge part works there? What type of assignments they assign? I'm not asking like the detailed one, but very summarized.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll try to
And
summarize.
does that help in like any practical exposure, which is like helpful for you in future? Like, is it helpful for you now? Like, whatever you learned, is it
Yeah.
helpful till now for you that way?
Okay, so I would say like learning the theories. Yes, it's good that you know the theories, the background when you research, when you have an assignment, like depending on what they ask, if there's a practical side of it, like that's the way I remember theories. I always trying to find a case study. So I will always remember something for a case study, and I will put myself in the counselor or psychologist's shoes. So I would say, like, if right now I'm in front of someone who has, let's say, I don't know, ADHD or is dealing with borderline personality, so what do I do now? How do I deal with that? So I will go in the theories and I will read about like the different theories behind that, and I would apply the technique. I will make as if I'm the counselor. That was back when I was a student. Now I'm doing it in real. But sorry, so that was back as a student when I used to do that. Sorry. And it helped a lot in the sense like now I'm really comfortable while doing that. It becomes so natural. So when you go, like I would say, like when you get an assignment, any assignment that you get, try to think as if it's a practical thing. Try to focus on it as a practical exercise. And this will help you in the future as well. So any challenge that you face, try to think like if the client, for example, was in front of me, how would I deal with that? And in terms of assignment here, it's more practical. It was more practical. For example, I remember having like a presentation to do. It was presentation based. So I had to find theories that are linked to that. So I had to research, and here they really train you into research because it's a really research-based uni that I went to. And different unis as well, you have to be aware, like some unis will have more practical side, maybe, and that's when you go into their program, when you see in their program, what's in their program, what do they offer. So you will see it on their website. Some uni will be like more research-based. They will tell you if they are research-based. But some uni will say, oh no, we have like 6 months of practical, 6 months of counseling, for example. From the uni I come from, I know for their masters, they do have 6 months of counseling that they have to provide. Like the student have to go in real setting, and they have a supervisor for that. And that helps you to the path, as New Zealand has a counselor association, for example, of counselors. So they will help you to get into the association as well. It will help you in your pathway to that. I don't know if that's helped you. So does anyone else have any other question, or? Did you face? Oh, yes. So yes, of course I did. Lots of time. Still now, when you have a client, for example, that makes you doubt all your psychology study, you're like, oh, what I'm doing here. And as a student as well, for first year till third year, even I had my moments, but I used to remember what I asked you at the start. Why did you do psychology? What's your purpose? You have to remember that, and you have to talk to your supervisor. Like what I did is I went straight to my lecturer and saying, "Oh, I can't do this right now. I'm not able to do this. How can you help me?" Since my lecturer was a psychologist trained, so she guided me to way past that. But still, now as a counselor, you have your moments, and I have a supervisor still now, and that's will remain so until you finish your counseling or psychologist practice, because it's important to have someone else who is more experienced to through all that to help you out. So as a student, it's so normal to have self-doubt, to say, oh, I don't know this, I'm being stupid, I don't understand that. Everyone goes through that. Everyone goes through that moment. So you don't have to worry. Everyone is normal in there. Anyone else? I feel everyone has gone now.
No, I think you can say, yeah. So I should say thank you. And also, like, is there a person who was asking for like studying in US? I think my voice is repeated.
Sorry?
No, no, no. It was not for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
No. For the US one, I said like I don't have much information, unfortunately. For the
but I
Canadian one
have
as
it.
well.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you. It's basically on the credential system, So what happens is like it needs a 16 years of education, when you apply for US universities, you need 16 years of education. It should be like 12 years of your high school and all that stuff, and plus 4 years of your bachelor's. So there in India, it's like mostly 3 years of bachelor's, but you have to do again then 1 year of more extra study. You can do your PG diplomas and all that stuff, and then it is based on your credential. If you have done internships, that's so great. They really give a credit on you for to you for that. So it is that basis. It takes interviews. So you need to give interviews in MNC. MNC approaches you when you are qualified with your credential based system. Your CV should look really good when you are going for an interview. They don't ask for the CV, but it should look like that, because sometimes they ask for this. It is required on a very plain paper. They don't want any cliche things. That's required on a very plain paper. So that is how you can approach for US based studies, when you want to study in international connection. If the person who wanted to know about it, I hope this answer is helpful for you. And I'm so sorry, like my camera did to me at last moment. I can see you guys, but you won't be able to see me. It's like very
That's
jealous of me
fine.
today. And I have to pamper it again. And like, I hope if anyone has any questions, please let us know, or just type clear so that we can get to know that it was really good to know. And I hope like Kirtideva answered all the questions and he was like quite good with you and you can understand him well as well. For this you have to like browse on it, in Canada, and then got into masters. In Canada itself, or
I'm
like in the US?
I think it's like New Zealand. Like you can start because I did a postgrad diploma as well, but it was part of their master's program. So I think you can. I'm not sure about that. So I feel that you can ask them. Like you can research on that about their master's program. If it's a 2 year, most likely the first year is considered to be a postgrad diploma. If it's a 1 year, then no. Then I don't think, because I think it's only UK, not only UK, mostly UK who does like the 1 year master's program. But across the world, it most likely to be 2 years. So most likely your first year is considered to be a postgrad diploma, but you must confirm with the Canadian university though. Hope,
So thank you
yeah.
so much.
Yep, that's all good. So if no one has any question, I hope it was helpful. So I say thank you. So thank you so much for having me. I hope it was fun for you, and it was
It was
really good to have more interaction as well. So yeah,
Yeah. So one more thing, like I would like to conclude. We have
good
like
night.
you had gave us your precious time and you had like sacrificed your sleep for all of us. So thank you so much for it, because we know how
That's
much
okay.
important sleep is. So as a token of love and gratitude, we would like to present an e-certificate to you, because it was really great to have a session
Thank
with
you.
you and like to know about so many things from a personal side. So
Yep.
yeah, I hope my screen
Thank
is
you.
visible.
Thank you so much.
I hope it's visible. I think it's not.
No, I don't think it is. That's fine. That's okay. But thank you so much for having me, and I wish you all good luck. So, if any point in time that you would like to have me back, that's fine as well. So we can
For
do
sure.
something.
We
Yeah.
believe you.
So hopefully it helps you. I wish you everyone good luck in whatever you're doing, and I hope to see you in the psychological field as well.
For sure.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
we'll
take
meet
care.
somewhere professional there. Yeah,
Sorry?
thank you so much. We would meet somewhere professionally, and we would be maybe joining some collaboration together, and I'll be eating your head there.
Yep. Sweet. That's no worries. So anytime you need any question, or you can flick me a message or something. I can help you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah. It's all good. You take care then.
Yeah,
See you
good night.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And I hope it was a great session for all of you. And we are having more sessions aligned for next week, so be tuned. Thank you. Come, bro. We have another session aligned. Why are you saying bye? I hate this. My screen isn't working, and I hated this
Just
fact.
stop the record, man.
Shut, 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 shut. Sorry.
Oh my
Please
god.
ignore.